it's Brianna. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about concealers and foundations that were my absolute favorites of 2018. Everything I'm going to mention, I'm sure you've heard of before. I just want to tell you kind of the way I apply them, which ones are my favorites, which ones work best for me and my skin type. I am combo to oily. I'm not extremely oily, but definitely combo to oily. No dryness whatsoever. So let's jump right in. First, let's talk about concealers. Of course, everyone has heard of Tart Shape Tape. It is a favorite of almost any and everybody that you talk to. I like it. I've not had any problems with it whatsoever. No creasing, no gathering in my lines. It has awesome coverage, but I do have one that I prefer over it. I will say the Tart Shape Tape is a little bit thick for me. If you are someone that doesn't have fine lines and creasing, this would be perfect for you. I do have an issue with some fine lines and creasing, so this is not something I just really want to go in heavy with underneath the eye because of that. Let's see, I'll try to just swatch right here. Okay, so you can see it's definitely got the coverage. The consistency of it is thick. But again, love it. Probably will purchase it again, but it's not my go-to everyday one. Next one on the list that's affordable and easy to find is Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. You just twist the applicator here, and I really don't mind the sponge. I know a lot of people don't like the sponge applicator. I usually still put it on and then take a brush and kind of stipple underneath and blend it out with a brush. I don't use this to blend it out. So I will do a swatch of it. And now this is much lighter. This is more of a winter color for me because I'm not near as tan as I normally am in the summertime. So you'll see a huge difference there on the swatches. But again, great full coverage. So you can see a difference in the consistency of those. This one's much smoother and a thinner texture, which I am totally okay with. I actually prefer that because again, I don't want something that's too heavy. I don't want it to look cakey. I don't want it to settle in any fine lines and wrinkles. Again, I've not had an issue with the Tape Shape doing that to me. My all-time favorite concealer right now of 2018 has to be the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I absolutely love this one. The shade match was perfect for me. I use this in the summertime. I'm still using it in the winter and not really having that much issues. It's not quite as brightening as what the Age Rewind is. The applicator is a bit small, but again, I don't mind that. I usually just do a little spot on the inner corner, take a brush, stipple that out, or a beauty blender, stipple that out. So here's that one. And as you can see, the consistency of this one is creamy, still not quite as thick as the Shape Tape, definitely thicker than the Age Rewind, so it's kind of in between these two. It's my absolute favorite. Doesn't budge, doesn't crease, doesn't smudge. It is just hands down a top-notch concealer. Okay, so now that we've gone into ones I love and why I love them, I want to put a couple here just to show you why I don't like them. And nothing against these brands. These may be some that you use and love, and there are different products from these brands that I do enjoy. It's Unique and SureCover, which I've used both foundations of. Love SureCover. I use SureCover foundation for probably 10 years, 12 years. I still use it occasionally. This one, of course, I bought in the summertime when I was really tan, and it was too dark when I bought it, so it's going to be way too dark. But I mean, I had just a dot of that. It is very full coverage, but it is very thick and heavy feeling. So if you can see that, it almost has an oily feel to it as well, which I do not like. The longer it sits on the skin, the oilier it feels. Try to zoom that in just a little. And it's just heavy. You can tell compared to the other ones how it's tacky feeling, and it sits on the skin, doesn't dry down well, doesn't blend in good. It's just not a favorite of mine. And then next for the sheer cover, again, it has an oily consistency as well. You'll see when I start rubbing into it. And I've got a lot of it. Not near as much as I went in with the Unique just then. A bunch. We'll put it right here. And it also is very oily feeling and does not have very much coverage at all. It's almost nothing now. I mean, if you were to wipe over it, you could blend that right away. If you're someone with oily skin that is concerned with creasing and products looking cakey or gathering in your lines, I would definitely suggest using one of these three. So foundations for 2018. Wet n Wild Photo Focus, the most affordable drugstore foundation that is still amazing. You can find it at your local Walmart. To me, this has been one of the best color matches I've come across. I know a lot of people complain about the applicator on this one too. I personally don't mind it. I usually don't use it straight off the applicator, and the reason for that, I don't use this alone very often. I have some, but it is oily, so I do have to set my entire face, and then I do have quite a bit of oil that still comes through. So again, if you're an oily person, that may be an issue for you. If you are combo to dry, you may love this. It may be perfect for you. But this does, it does get oily on me. So what I tend to do is mix it with my Double Wear. So what I really like to do is mix a little bit just on I've got like a glass palette that I mix them on. Do like 1 to 2 pumps of this. Take this and just brush the back of it off, and then whatever's on the front, kind of click that off on my little palette and stir it around with this. And then I'll work off my palette, you know, dip my brush in it and go over my face. I enjoy mixing these two foundations together because, again, this one does get oily after a little bit on me, and my oils shine through quite a bit, even setting my entire face, that happens. But it is a beautiful foundation. It is a great color match, and it is cheap. This one, again, if you're planning on being outside, gonna be active for the day, have a big event that you don't want anything showing through, this is the go-to. This is not going to move or go anywhere. It's very matte. But when you're looking for something kind of in between these two, that's why I like to mix them. And finally, my favorite foundation of 2018 is definitely the Revlon Color Stay. I've talked about this in 2 or 3 videos already, and I'm telling you, as long as they keep making this stuff, I'm going to keep buying it. It is affordable. The consistency of it's great. I love how easy it goes on, how smoothly it blends out. I just cannot say enough good things about this. I do not have the problems with it being as oily as the Wet n Wild, but I will say if I do not set my entire face, I do tend to see some breaking apart near my nose and some major oil on my forehead coming through. So I do have to set my entire face really well when I wear this. But for the price, for the color match, for the consistency of it, love how creamy it is, this is an awesome foundation. So there is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. Great foundation. Again, it does tend to be slightly oily on me, but for the price and the color match, can't beat it. The Double Wear, and again, a little goes a long way. And I'm kind of in between these two colors right now, so you see why I'm blending them together. That is great coverage, lasts all day, very matte, great. And finally, the Revlon Color Stay. Stick it right here. It's more of a whipped texture, very easy to work with. I typically just go in with my fingers like a moisturizer, dot it on, take my brush, start blending. Super easy, super fast, great coverage, great color match, very affordable. Absolute favorite of 2018. Okay, so now let's get to the foundations that I'm not too fond of. I'm still giving them a go. I've not given up on them or thrown them away yet, but they're definitely not my favorite. They're not my go-to, and I do have problems and notice that I don't have good makeup days when I use these. The Makeup Revolution Stick Foundation, I really wanted to love this. I love anything that's easy to go on. You can just do swap, 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 take your brush, blend it out, and go. I love that about it. And I really thought that I was going to love this foundation. As the day goes, and it is quite creamy, which I do not have a problem with. It is pigmented. But as the day goes, it will just be gone. My whole nose, I'll have no makeup on my nose. It'll start breaking apart right here, and that's setting my entire face with a Too Faced powder or an extremely mattifying powder. I still find that I have that problem with this foundation. That and around, I'm sure you guys don't want this big of a close-up, but around here, I noticed that, and today I'm wearing the one that I'll get to next, that it settles into lines. It doesn't blend seamlessly into my hairline. It almost looks like cakey. So I don't like that about it. And then of course it settles kind of into these fine lines too. So again, it works for days when I'm just in a hurry, just want to slap something on, set it with some powder. It'll get me through my day, but it's definitely not my favorite. I have got to get this hair out of my way, guys. Okay, the last foundation we have to talk about, and I was really excited about this one, is the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop Full Coverage Foundation. I really thought I was going to love it. The color match is good. It's not quite as creamy as what I thought it would be when it pumps out. And this is actually what I'm wearing today. I think I might have mixed it with some Photo Focus. If I do have a foundation that I'm not crazy about and don't really like, I don't give up on it. I will keep using it. I hate to be wasteful and just throw it away, so I'll start mixing it with ones that are semi-okay or that I do really like. So, color match, great. But again, as I say, throughout the day, the texture and where it starts breaking apart around my nose, there's probably some missing from my nose too. It accentuates the texture up here. You can see that. So it's not for me. It's definitely not something that I would recommend to you. And your oils will definitely shine through on this. This is one of those, if you are an oily girl, you're gonna have problems by the end of the day with your oil showing through. I hope this video helped you guys. Again, Tarte Shape Tape, great, just a little too thick. This is probably the thinnest and the most inexpensive out of all of them. Works wonderful. But out of all of them, the Double Wear is definitely my go-to concealer. Okay, let's wrap up foundations. My favorites were Photo Focus. I typically mix it with something though, I will say that, because my oils do shine through quite a bit. So if you're an oily girl, just keep that in mind. Maybe mix it with something like the Estee Lauder. If you're extremely oily, you will absolutely love Estee Lauder. It does not budge, it does not go anywhere. You can wear this all day long and do anything you want. I'm not necessarily that oily or looking for that much locked in mattifying look every day, so that's why I mix these two together quite a bit. And then again, this has just been my favorite. I know I've talked about it so many times on my channel already, but I just can't get enough of it. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. And I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.